Hey there guys, it's Main here, back again with another video. So today, I just want to, real quick before we start, actually, I just want to mention, we now have a Discord started. I've been mentioning this in a lot of the recent videos, but I do want to push this sort of a community project to get going on. We do have a lot of people that are joining the Discord. It seems like they've been helping a lot out in the Idleon chat here, sort of the general Discord. People have been pretty helpful. They've been helping out with like party dungeon, general tips and advice, just going through the account. Anything that I haven't been able to get to, they've been pretty much answering all the questions that some of the people have been posing. So in the description, there'll be the link to the Discord. Feel free to join it. Remember to accept the rules. That way you get your role sort of going on. And today we have one more Idleon sort of account review going on as always. You can when you do join the Discord, it'll prompt you to fill out a form, which you go ahead and fill out. Sort of links over to a list. I'll go down one by one, sort of doing your reviews. So without further ado, today we have Mushdog. Mushdog just said, "Hey, I need some general help. Not really sure what I'm doing. I pushed World 5, but I need earlier help." So let's go ahead, look through some of the things that he's got going on, see what we can advise, and see how we can sort of push through World 5 rather easily. Let's see. So he's got some people skilling. He's fighting, getting to Demon Genie, skilling, fighting, divinity, and cooking. Okay. So when you're in World 5, the most important thing for you to do is pretty much stick everyone on divinity and try to get enough points to push really hard into the Goat God. What you can do is you can have like one active character try to farm out like their elite stuff. So if they're DK, ES, or Siegebreaker, I recommend probably DK. DK gives you a lot of bonuses with this talent, giving you more printer output. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong character. This talent right here gives you more printer output for every power of 10 kills you have on the Orb of Remembrance. So I'd recommend trying to push a little bit into World 5. Sort of the best thing for you to do is pretty much everyone should be linked to probably Arctis, so you can light up Lab to kill a bright side. This is kind of what I did starting out World 5. Get some people linked to when you unlock Arctis, which you do have in Divinity. Have them linked to Arctis. That way they're in Lab and they light up the killer bright side node, so you get 2 times kills for pushing. Pretty much everyone should be on Divinity except your pusher. The reason being is because you want a hard push till you get Goat God, the Goharad God. Once you get there, you'll be able to level up Lab and Divinity at the same time. The main goal with World 5 is to get this grinds done as soon as possible, getting everyone to level 75 in Lab. The reason is you unlock the chipboard. Right now, this isn't immediately important to you, and it won't be important for quite a while, but it's important that you do this sooner rather than later. Lava's been updating the game quite consistently, so every single week that goes on, you're missing out on some gains. The sooner you get this grind done, the better it is for your account. That way you don't have to waste time later when you could be doing other things. So you need to get this grind done as soon as possible. And the most efficient way to do that is to unlock Goat God. That way you're connected to Lab and Divinity at the same time. And you unlock, well, mostly the goal is to hit level 40 Divinity, so you can unlock the Tranqui Divinity style, which means you can level up Divinity outside of Lab. You get 3 XP per hour when not meditating. While you're pushing Lab and Divinity with a Goat God, or you're just pushing Divinity, you want to equip the highest EXP per hour and highest Divinity per hour that you can. When you get to, I don't know exactly what level it is, Vitalic is pretty good. It gives you Divinity points and EXP per hour. It gives you the most EXP per hour until you hit Zen and then Mindful. So you really want to try to unlock Vitalic as quickly as possible. That way you can progress Divinity even faster on all your characters. You want this stamp in particular, Poigu, real quick. You want to get your character to Divinity level, at least one character to Divinity 50, like as quick as possible, so you can unlock the multi-tool stamp when you do get to that map. Multi-tool stamp is incredibly important. When you push it, I say it in pretty much every single video, multi-tool stamp is one of the best stamps alongside ladle stamp, which you don't have. I recommend going back and unlocking this because it impacts every single skill, cooking specifically, to give you a bunch of ladle generation to help out with your cooking. But yeah, the most important thing for you to try to do immediately is try to push level 40 Divinity. Most important thing is try to push Goat God and trying to unlock that as soon as possible so you can do your Lab and Divinity grind at the same time. And try to push everyone to level 75 Lab once you do have Goat God. And the minimum requirement for Divinity, when you can consider taking them out, is level 40 Divinity, so you can unlock Tranqui to sort of AFK Divinity. like I said, this style right here. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, everyone should be pretty much on divinity. They shouldn't be skilling. You can focus on skilling a little bit later once you have that divinity and lab grinding done. It is the biggest time gate to Idleon, and it's really important you do that because it doesn't only impact obviously the chips, but also impacts like weekly boss battles. This do give you some nice bonuses. The higher level your divinity, the higher level your lab is, the more damage you can do to the weekly bosses. Okay, that's immediately the most important thing. So immediately you want to finish the lab divinity grind. Put everyone except your pushing DK onto divinity altar. Link everyone to Arctis for now and activate lab until you hit killer right side. Nobisect on DK. Arctis on everyone else for now. Hard push to Goharut, and then stick everyone except Pusher into lab. Yeah, once you get Goat God, you pretty much stick all nine of your characters into lab until they hit 75, and your Pusher sort of progresses World 5 as much as you can. We'll get to whether or not that's feasible for you, but you did the right thing of connecting your character over to Nobisect. Nobisect obviously gives you 2 times kills, so it's easier to push the portal. Also gives them a bunch of damage as well. Yeah, stick everyone except your pusher into lab. That way you progress their, sorry, not lab, everyone onto divinity. Link them to Arctis, that way they're active in lab. They won't gain lab EXP, but they'll be active so you can unlock Killer Brightside. If you're able to push to the Stamp Doubler in lab, you can do that as well. That'll give you a little bit more damage and yeah, just give you a little bit more damage and pushing power as you progress through World 5. Perfect. Yeah, once you unlock Goat God, Goharut right here, your main goal is to stick all 9 of those characters again into lab until they hit level 75. Then you can start cycling people out. The biggest piece of advice I can give you is push with your DK. The reason is DK, you have low crystal mob spawn chance, but he has higher drop rates of dropping the golden food and progressing and getting more statues. So overall, it'll help your account as you push with your DK. The main goal with World 5 is to progress sailing. Divinity is pretty good, but sailing is the most important thing because sailing gives you the most gains. We'll talk about sailing when we get to it, but you stand to gain the most benefits from sailing. It overall boosts your account in so many different ways, and it's incredibly important. The reason I mentioned sailing and why you should push with DK is because there's a golden food that drops called the Golden Hamster Gummies. Ideally, you want to split this amongst all of your characters. I don't imagine you have any yet, but the way Golden Hamsters work is... read it right here. Whenever you come back to the character and claim like they're AFK, say they've been gone for 4 hours and you go back to them, there's a chance you can claim sailing AFK time for the same time they've been AFK. So for those 4 hours, you could get 4 hours of sailing time. So you go back to sailing, check the map, have them progress through the islands, and then you collect the loot piles, and you collect basically 4 hours of sailing time. So it'll help you massively improve your gains with sailing and push it even faster. It literally saves you months of time. So gear up your DK to start pushing World 5, and it looks like you already are. You should have enough damage, especially with the wings and your current gear. I'd recommend probably equipping better tools to start pushing and getting more damage to push through World 5. Also, make sure that you have enough accuracy to push it. Your talent right here, the refinery rank, is dependent on accuracy. So it has to be 1.5 times higher than the enemy's sort of defense. I'd recommend trying to push World 5 with at least trying to push with at least 81,000 accuracy. That's because the last mob of World 5 requires 54,000 accuracy. So try to push with 81,000 if you can. You can check your accuracy in the main menu here. You see this number right here, accuracy. If it's less than 81,000, I'd recommend trying to get some substat, some wisdom on your DK. Looks like you're probably fine though. That in conjunction with accuracy, you're probably just doing fine in World 5. Okay. Lab. I'm just writing some notes here on the side. regarding the divinity grind and a little bit of notes regarding sailing. I'll flesh these out towards the end of the video. That way you have some, you have a written guide to go off before the video is uploaded and so on. Perfect. Okay, let's move on. Let's go back through sort of the dashboard here. One thing I want to note, you probably want to get your key grind done as soon as possible. So, I mean, you can take characters out of Divinity, out of Lab to focus on this. This is pretty important. Getting 10 keys per day is going to help in the long run. You don't need the keys right now necessarily, but E-Font's going to come to play come to play in a second when I go back to sailing to sort of talk about it. But it's really important you start getting more keys per day by finishing these quests. So go back and all your characters complete these quests, especially Cheezor. Cheezor has a really good scarf you'll swap out your pendants for. So try to get more keys per day for Cheezor, start building up that bank, and then you'll eventually be at a point late game where this will become important and you'll need to use these keys. Other thing I want to talk about, use your library checkout as well. There's a very, very important achievement that'll come to play, which is this one right here, checkout takeout. You need to use 1,000 individual books from the talent library to get 5 max level of your talents. This is going to come really important when you start pushing your Bubo. So I'd recommend, if you have Automation Arm, turn off this node right here to start using books one by one. You want to use it one by one so it counts towards the achievement. You only want to turn it on when you're done with that achievement so you can max out your talents. But start hard farming that. Use every single one of your books in trying to upgrade some of the more important talents. If you're needing damage, focus on upgrading Gilded Sword, focus on upgrading Sharpened Axe. And the other node, Carry Big Stick, Strength in Numbers is pretty good. For skilling, this one's pretty good. I recommend focusing this, getting AFK gain rates, getting fighting AFK gain rates. Those are all pretty good. I recommend using your books as much as you can because, I mean, you're taking 5 days to gain 1 book. The faster you get that achievement done, the better it is for your account overall. Okay. Outside of game XP with it. That's meditating. Okay, sorry, just making some notes here. Okay, so use talent library books individually. Take off Automation Arm 20 book thingy. Take off the Automation Arm 20 book use and use your books one by one to complete the World 3 achievement so you get max talent levels. Okay, onto stamps. So stamps are pretty important. It looks like you kept up kind of with the grind here, so I respect that. Now you're into World 5, you can think about trying to finish the 7-figure followers quest. This should come a little bit easier now that you have a bunch of drop rates and multi-kill. Multi-kill doesn't really impact the quest itself, but the drop rate does. This quest is kind of hard for early game players, especially since it's a World 1 quest, but it does give you some pretty good bonuses like % total damage and golden food effect. So you should really think about completing this quest and getting the stamp unlocked. I also recommend trying to go back and unlock some of the stamps that you don't, such as Violent Stamp. Getting more strength is going to be pretty important for progressing your character. Other thing as well, alchemy speed is really, really important. I imagine your alchemy, you want to start catching this up. Actually, you're doing pretty good. I'll get to this. There's some things you should really focus on in alchemy, but you should really get more alchemy speed to try to push the cauldrons. That way you can start upgrading it, make your Bubo more effective, and try to get more upgrades through alchemy. I'd also try to go through World 4 and unlock Ladle Stamp. Ladle Stamps can be pretty big. Other thing to note here, getting multi-bug chance is also going to be pretty big. So just do a pass through World 1 to World 3 and try to unlock the stamps that you're missing. Okay, let's talk about alchemy. You really want to push alchemy. Try to push to like Shimmeron, Bite but not Chew. Shimmeron's going to come really important when I talk about Hampters. You also want to push to Diamond Chef to get more cooking speed. I'd recommend using Bubo or Shaman's Talent Bubble Breakthrough. This will make it easier to unlock new bubbles. Looks like you have a few points in here. Try to do some more. It'll give you better chances and better odds of unlocking new bubbles. And vials as well. I tried to unlock some of the World 4 vials. These give you some pretty nice bonuses like new pet breeding chance when you talk about breeding. Gives you meal cooking speed, recipe speed. There's a lot of bonuses you can get from World 4, the vials specifically, so hard farm these and unlock those if you can. Refinery. Your refinery is out of balance. I'd recommend trying to fix your refinery and you know, we do have a salt chart in our tips and tricks. I'd recommend you follow that to the T. This will help you sort of sustain salts infinitely. I do have it pinned in the tab, so I'd recommend looking through this, trying to keep your refinery as even to that as possible. And you are focusing the important things like bloach and fruit flies, so nothing to complain about too much here. Just keep in the back of a mind, eventually you do want to focus on skilling pretty hard. So my best recommendation is really eventually get divinity high enough to unlock this stamp. This stamp's going to be really important for you. Okay. There's not terribly too much to talk about here. I wouldn't. I try not to fall into the trap of using Charge Siphon. Charge Siphon's pretty much a bait. You want to spend your charge pretty much equally on all your characters to help progress worship levels, because you'll be able to equip better skulls. This will give you more charge rate, which inevitably will mean you'll get better use out of Charge Siphon, but you want to push worship level on all your characters as much as possible. Your your Maestro specifically, when you unlock V-Man, getting a higher worship level is going to be pretty important, because he has a talent called Species Epoch, which gives you multiplicatively more critters and worship for your combined trapping and worship levels. So I'd highly recommend trying to push high levels in V-Man or Maestro and not using Charge Siphon. Also, the higher level your worship means the better skulls you can equip, which means more upgrade slots you can put on your character, which means more damage. So as you upgrade these, you see they gain upgrade slots. I see one here, one here. So the more upgrade slots means more stones you can use, which means more damage your character gets. And yeah, the big thing here for your prayers, I'd recommend trying to upgrade Skilled Dimwit as much as possible. When you go to skilling, Skilled Dimwit's going to be a really good prayer to equip, as it gives you more skill efficiency, which gives you higher prints. Other thing, I'd try to upgrade Royal Sampler a little bit and equip it on all of your characters. Looks like you're almost there. Some of your characters don't have it, but equip it. This will give you a higher print sample rate. On construction, rather 3D printer, if you go to your character's skill info, click on construction, print sample rate needs to be 90%, or as close to it as much as possible. 90% is the maximum for print sample rate. The higher you try to get, 90% being the cap, the better it is, and your prints will be higher. Okay, let's talk about cooking. So you're kind of early into World 5, so don't expect too much for your cooking, but I feel like you could be doing a better job. Like I said, the best thing for you to unlock and upgrade, cooked meal stamp, the more you upgrade that, the more meal cooking speed you'll get. You're also missing a vial here. The Sand Shark one, Long Island Tea, this will give you meal cooking speed. But ladle stamp for cooking efficiency is going to be a big one to help you generate more ladles, which will help you push your cooking speed even further. You have this meal unlocked. Cabbage is really good for boosting meal cooking speed. It's one of the bigger upgrades for meal cooking speed. I recommend trying to level this up another few levels. As well, try to unlock Corn Dog as well. It's another meal cooking speed upgrade you can get. It's better than cabbage. It scales faster than cabbage. Egg. It scales faster than egg. Highly recommend trying to upgrade this and getting more meal cooking speed this way and through cabbage. Let's talk about alchemy a little bit, since I haven't really talked about it too much, but try to push alchemy even further. I did speak about this, but the biggest thing is Diamond Chef for meal cooking speed. Getting your plates up to level 11 will multiplicatively increase your cooking speed. So this is one of the biggest upgrades you can get early game for cooking, which will massively increase your cooking speed, which will mean you'll be able to upgrade your meals more. You'll get more total damage, meal cooking speed, cash, new pet breeding odds. There's a lot of bonuses that cooking offers, and you're kind of missing out on some of those bonuses. I'd go back to World 4, try to focus on that as much as possible. And breeding, I'd recommend looking at the tips and tricks. There is a guide sheet specific that'll help you with breeding and trying to push it as much as possible. The biggest thing is trying to unlock as many pets as you possibly can. You're at carrots, so you can probably push the territory spices a little bit and try to push arena. And that guide sheet will help you push a lot more effectively in breeding. And if you have any questions, that guide sheet will answer a lot of them. And yeah, we did talk pretty much about divinity and the grind you should be doing. Let's talk more about sailing. So the biggest upgrade for you here is going to be getting the Hampters as quickly as possible. It'll give you more chance at sailing AFK gains to help you push sailing much faster. Other thing I want to note here, try to unlock Ancient Foes Retusk as fast as possible. it'll give you incredibly high amounts of artifact find chance, which will make getting the artifacts much easier. And then obviously unlock more boats, unlock more captains, set everyone to the island that they're fastest in. So I highly recommend trying to farm the first one until you level up your captains, get more levels in sailing to get more artifact find chance. The more boats you get, the faster it is you'll find those artifacts. Remember to upgrade your boats as well for sailing speed. Sailing is just a slow grind early on, so this is going to take time. Once you get hamsters, this will speed up tremendously. And there's not really much to talk about for someone that's an early game account. Again, I just do a passive your tools, get everyone up to like dementia tools minimum, so you get their skilling up, upgrade their tools, you get more damage. Also, some of your characters are missing like the splicer, and I'd also recommend trying to upgrade their their traps as well. More traps means more critters, means easier time progressing your account through the worlds. So again, tools are a great way to increase your damage as well as accuracy. I'd recommend giving your characters better tools, get them into dementia minimum, and you have a better time progressing as well. So I think that's pretty much it. I mean, there's not much to talk about for some of the earlier game accounts, but you have some things to work on, and I think working on stamps and alchemy are going to be the big things you can focus on. Again, try to push as much as you can in alchemy. You use bubble breakthrough through shaman, and you'll have a good time progressing alchemy. So I hope that gives you enough to work on. Again, if you do have any questions, feel free to reach out to me on Discord. Anyone in the idle chat will be able to help you as well. So sorry for the somewhat short review. I am feeling a little bit under the weather, so hopefully you guys are able to take this in stride and hopefully help progress your account in a little bit of a way there. So if you do have any questions, again, reach out to Discord. They'll be able to help you there, and hope you have a great time. Have a good one.